Welcome to the SYRAS video guides. This guide is all about deduplication. This is part 3. The previous guides were about project management and account management. So I'm assuming that you've already seen those. So let's get logged in. I'm going to create a new project just to demonstrate this. Example. I'm going to open that project and jump in. So here we are back at the document management area, and I'm going to go into a bit more detail about the deduplication options while you're importing. Deduplication will help you take out duplicates that are in single imports or in multiple imports. So if you're importing from different journals, you may end up with duplicates in that way, but you might even have duplicates inside a single database export for various reasons. Deduplication is a very difficult and complex subject, and I'm not claiming that SYRAS does this perfectly, but it does have some tools that you can use. You may want to do your deduplication first, or you may want to do it in SYRAS as well. I'll give you an example of importing a single file that has a few duplicates in it. This is an RIS file. So there are two different matching strategies at the moment. There may be more added in future. The most common one is title search. What that does is it looks at only at the titles in the import file. It doesn't look at the abstracts or anything else. In trials, we found abstracts were very difficult to do the deduplication on, so we're just doing it on titles. If you click this option here, this is a fuzzy search. It tries to ignore things like diacritics and so on. However, if you want a strict matcher, then you can choose the exact, and it will be pretty fragile on punctuation, but it'll make sure that you only have exact duplicates. Once a duplicate has been detected, there are at the moment two different strategies that can be taken. One is that it will be given to you as a reviewer to go through the duplications and decide what to do with them. Or, if you're brave, you can let the system just delete what it thought that were the duplicates. That's if you're in a hurry and you trust the system. However, I would recommend that you select the review, and then you can actually go through them all, which is what I will show you now. So let's do this example. We've got 3 articles that had duplicates out of 134 articles in the overall import file. Now those 3 articles had 5 duplicates, so that shows that there is maybe there are 3 for one of them. So let's have a look at the results. It takes you straight to this deduplication queue page. Now, if we have a look at this one here, you can see that these two look almost exactly the same to me. If we do a difference on that, you can read them in this pop-up here. You can read them. You can see that the titles are exactly the same. The abstracts are almost the same. There is a bit of a difference at the end there, which is pretty common to have these copyrights on there. And there's also differences in the authors where they've got either full or just the initials. So obviously this is a duplicate, and so the system has chosen out of this pair here, it's chosen to keep this one and to delete this one. It's up to you. If you want to switch those around because you wanted the full names, for example, then you could switch those two options around by saying delete that one and keep this one. So the system has also picked up some more here. Here's another one where the title does have some minor changes in it. You can see this red and green highlighting here. Green means that something is new in this article, and red has been deleted. You can see that there's this just capitalization. This seems pretty common. Again, we can see this in the difference. You can see the same highlighting there. And we can see that the similar thing has happened in the abstract. There's a bit of grade Roman numerals instead of a 1. So again, that is a duplicate, so we will keep that one ticked. Now this one here gets a bit more complicated. This article here has got 2 duplicates associated with it, and while this one looks like a true duplicate, let's have a quick look at that. We've got some case sensitivity issues, a trademark that's been encoded differently, and there's one of the journals has put its little footer at the end there differently. So this has been published in 2 different journals with different footers. Okay, so that is definitely a duplicate. We can lose that one. However, this one here doesn't look right to me. It looks like the system has found 2 articles that look like they're about the same topic, but they're not duplicates. So let's have a look at those. Yeah, you see the difference here is there's so much difference that it's obviously not a duplicate. Now remember that the system, so SYRAS, doesn't look at the abstract. It only did this on the title. The reason it decided this was a duplicate is because there is some similarity between the two the 2 titles, but that's really just an effect of the fact that it's about the same topic. And you do see this. It's very difficult for the computer to distinguish between things that are really similar like this. So in this case, this is not a duplicate. So we would want to untick that. So I would say we want to keep this option here, keep this article here. We want to delete this one because this was a duplicate, but this one wasn't. So that's an interesting case there, quite a complicated case. And finally here, this one looks the same. There's a copyright there. So we can go ahead and delete these duplicates and then return to the project. Now let's cover an example where we will be importing more than one database export file. In the previous video, I showed you how to merge multiple database files into one corpus in SYRAS, and I skipped the de-duplication then, but let's add the de-duplication in. What's important to understand is that the de-duplication should be run on your final set. So what you need to do is ignore the duplicates until you've imported all of the files that you're going to be importing. So let's do that again. Let's import this one. And we'll leave all this as default. Actually, I will reset the project because I was doing something else a minute ago. That one's XML. And this will take a little bit longer because the de-duplication search takes a bit of time. Okay, now it's taken us to the duplication page. Now I'm going to ignore that for the moment because I want to import another database export file, and that might have a completely different set of duplicates in it. So I'm not going to do the duplications yet. If ever you come back to your project, you will be told that you've got outstanding duplication candidates waiting to be processed. So you can see here that we've imported that first set of 457 references. There are 3 duplicates within that one set already. So let's add another data set to it, like we did before, but this time we'll leave the duplicate detection on, and let's import that one. Again, it'll import the documents and it will cross-check all of the articles again. So this will get slower and slower the more articles there are, because it checks every article with every other article. And so the second set has been imported, and it says that it found 421, and 20 articles had duplicates, and there were 26 duplicates. So obviously, again, more than one duplicate per article in some cases. Just for reference, let's come back to the project homepage. You can now see that this alert at the top here is saying that there are now 26 unresolved duplicate articles. We could carry on adding more if you had 3 or 4 or 5 different journal exports. You can also see here that we've got 878 references and we've got 26 pending, which is just the same number. You can click on this link here, which takes you back to the de-duplication queue or processing page, and you can see that we're looking at the pending duplicates here. So as we saw before, some of these look pretty likely. That one is exactly the same. This one here has some case sensitivity, which is fine. So those will look good. So we can now commit these, the actions that are chosen here, we can commit those with this big red button. And it takes us onto page 2. Again, we can see that these ones are quite likely, but here this looks possibly wrong. You can see here that these two titles have matched quite a lot, about half of them, but they're possibly not. See, I'm not an expert at this. You may be able to do this better than me. So let's have a look at the difference on here. No, okay. So the abstracts are completely different. It's just that the titles are about typical topics. So I'm going to, I think that button doesn't work. I'm going to untick these. I'm going to keep these two and then keep going. So these are case sensitivity. Now this duplicate row here, we can't process this one at the moment because the next one is on the next page. So this has been disabled for the moment. We can come to that later. Now we have a complicated one here with 6 matches. Let's have a look at this one here. This one does look like a duplicate. It's just case. Someone's changed sentence case into a normal case. However, this one looks different. So now this is something you sometimes get where you have one article that's referencing another. It could be a review or something like that. This one's a correction, a corrigendum. So it could be that this is, in fact, a duplicate, but there is no abstract in the second one, so you can do whatever you want with that one. You can get that one. You can delete that one as you see fit. So that's sometimes why you get these duplicates, is because they are referencing another article, but the body of the article may be completely different. So again, you can keep these however you want. You may want to keep one of them and then delete the rest because they're all very similar looking references. They may be different corrections, maybe. Let's go ahead and, yep, so they process these ones. There's more, very, very similar. And here's another interesting one. See, I'm just skipping these because they look like perfect duplicates. This one here is probably a misdiagnosis, a false positive. So let's have a look at this. Yep, again, so the abstract is completely different there. So I will keep that one. And here's another correction. So you may want to keep the corrected one in this case. So you could, for example, you could swap those around if that's the right thing to do. So hopefully that shows you a few more complicated real-world sort of examples of duplication. There's lots of other things you may find in your travels. We are always looking to help to improve the deduplication detection in SYRAS. It's an area of active work at the moment. I'm interested in receiving any examples of duplicates that you have that the system is not detecting properly. Any case studies would be helpful to improve the algorithm behind this. Okay, thank you.